What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to another RiftGuides WildRift video. It is time for something, well, that you haven't seen before. It's about the jungle trekking in WildRift. Many people say that you don't know where the people are and where they're going to gank. But after watching this video, you'll understand the fundamentals of where junglers are going to be, how you can avoid this, and how you can basically make sure that you don't fall victim to stupid jungle. First off, let's talk about the typical jungle clearing in this video game. First off, we have to separate two different clears. The normal clear path from red side starts on the croc camp up here, goes to red buff, goes to chickens, goes to wolves, goes to blue, goes to gromp. This is the full clear 6 camp into scuttle. Some champs can choose to delay some of their camps on the blue side, for example, and go for a scuttle crab a little bit earlier. Most of the time around the 130 mark is something you have to be really careful about when you are a laner. The 130 mark usually gets close to the third wave mark, so you can take a third wave mark, especially in bot lane, as the milestone. The third wave is the first cannon or blaster minion wave. So the first two waves are normal waves, and the third wave is going to be a cannon or like blaster cannon minion wave, however you want to call it. This wave is the dangerous wave. Why? Because we're getting closer to the 130 mark, which automatically means that the enemy jungle, if he chooses to, could delay his jungle pathing to go for a little gank. How does this happen? Let's remove this one here a little bit here. Okay, how does this happen? Let's change color so it's more visible to the eye. Many people choose to just play here, in this direction here, and for some reason get surprised if they're getting jungle ganked, and then they call jungle gap. But now, let's introduce you to the other side clear. Imagine here, you see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clear, and your jungle starts here, which most jungles do, because it's the most typical clear pathing from the red side to the blue buff. There are a few nuances that we have to talk about, we'll deal with this a little bit later. So now, you see the flow of the blue side here, starting from up to this side, compared to this flow here. Okay. You say jungle gap because you get ganked here on the second or third wave, or maybe even fourth, doesn't matter. How can it be jungle gap if you see from the very start that your jungle is pathing away from you? That is something you have to start thinking about when you play this game. Don't just mindlessly shove waves. I've seen, for example, on my second account, that people believe that hitting people to gain so-called prio means something, but it really doesn't. Everything needs to be done with a reason. Okay, let's take a look at this again. You see a lot of numbers on the screen, a lot of arrows, etc. Okay, you see this wave position here. How can you avoid this? First off, if you want to, you can always crash the third wave and go for a recall. Why the third wave? If you manage to not miss a single minion from the first, second, and third wave, you will have enough gold for your boots. Or very close to. Then the next thing is, you can go for the recall, coming from here. Then let me remove all of this other stuff here. And as you go back to the lane, you can change a little bit in your pathing and go here to place a ward. A ward here, or let's go back a little bit further, like a ward here, provides you with enough information of not getting surprise ganked. If you do not choose to reset because you have other goals, you can also hard push a wave into the tower and then take this time, as the wave is under tower and the enemy is dealing with the wave, to walk into the river, place a ward here, and pop the plant. The ward up here will provide vision in this area here, so you have a very good idea what is happening. Another thing you can do is, if your jungle goes to his chicken camp and does this and pops the plant here, you see if blue buff is up or not. If the blue buff isn't up anymore, then you can pretty much assume that the jungle is currently in his way to transition to these camps over here, currently at wolves most likely, which then allows you in most instances to play way more aggressive. You can, for example, crash a wave under this tower, go for a deep ward, clear the most commonly placed pink ward here, without any punishment. You can go for heavy trading, etc, etc. But you have to keep that one in mind, that, I repeat it again, if the enemy jungle starts here, which is very easily trackable, he's going to end up here, which means you will be a potential victim. For jungles, what you have to think about as you clear your jungle, keep in mind, look at this flow. This is a flow. It's like a flow chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, when you look at this and you just pay attention, if you see this, what lanes could be possibly getting ganked without messing up the flow of jungling? As soon as you transition, you see here, then he's still here. Then as you hit mid lane, still here. 4, still here. 5, still here. Up here. Up here. All of these movements are possible. Now, another thing that you can do as, for example, a bot laner. If you have the stronger 2v2, you can just waltz in here and place a ward here. That also works, because then you know most likely where the enemy started and where he can't be. With that said, this will allow you to then play aggressive without you being able to get punished for free. Okay, now let's go with a scenario. Enemy jungle clears this, and ganks here. Your jungle did this, and this. So the sequence, you know, is like this. And for some, like, obviously speaking, from a matter of economy, the enemy jungle is most likely going to be here again after resetting. What happens if he still just chooses to go down here? What needs to happen from your team's perspective to make this a problem for the enemy jungle? Okay, the enemy jungle goes down for a play right here. What does your jungle have to do? Your jungle has to take away enemy camps. Your jungle has to take away these camps. How do you know if these camps will be available? 90 seconds, baby. 90 seconds. That's all it takes for you to just take these camps, and you'll have a beautiful time. Let me quickly look up something I sent to random a little bit at some other time. Let me open up my notepad here. Bottom down. So which start do we take? We take the Lilia QW Grom start. So you see here, Grom start. Second respawn 222. Full clear 142, second crab, 2 minute crab dead, and then you see the respawn timers. Okay, so with that here on our screen, and we see that the enemy is going for a gank down here, and we are the jungle. If we are currently on, let me change colors again, this side, instead of taking these camps here, we need to make sure to take these camps as well or before, because we need to establish a priority in taking camps. Enemy camps take priority, then it's neutral camps, for example crabs, and then it's our own camps. So your own camps are basically what is already yours. The enemy is currently going for a play to take something away from your team, so you have to go for a play that takes something away from their team. And by that I don't mean just ganking. Ganking only needs or should happen if there's a good enough reason to do it. You don't gank in WildRift to blow a summoner spell in solo queue. You gank for a kill, you gank for advantages. A summoner spell is usually not enough, and it costs you too much time. So for example, if the jungle of side number 1 chooses to re-gank this bottom side here, even though both bot laners still have sums up and cannot die, then it's a bad gank attempt. Then at best, let's say he gets both their summoner spells. Cool, but at the same time, you have lost your entire jungle camps here. Then depending on the jungle you're facing, because he got his first reset off already, he has an item and he might be waiting in your jungle to kill you. This is something Kha'Zix, Rengar, all of these very aggressive jungles can do. And once they have your timers and have the tiniest of leads, they can kill you on cooldown. And then, because they have the high economy, will repeat on doing so. Because don't forget, the moment you use the division cone here and let's say reveal these camps or have any other ways of getting the camp timers, you will always know when these camps spawn and you can always be there to punish these people. And don't forget, it's always a flow into either direction. And now I have to talk about the next possible thing. Okay, we need to revisit the gank here. Jungle chooses to gank here. This is up because we have tracked it and we have taken it away. Like, it's gone. It's ours now. Now the enemy jungle gank fails or succeeds, doesn't matter, one or the other. Now the enemy jungle is visibly recalling. Where is the enemy jungle going to go? Most likely he's going to go here, like somewhere in our top side here, or their top side. Now what does the enemy jungle do when he sees he doesn't have camps? Now the concept of available place comes into play. Concept of available place. The jungler who's currently on this side here cannot magically appear here without, well, spending time. Which means if he sees that his camps are being taken away or were taken away before, the enemy jungle has limited options. Let me clear this up again. So here, this quadrant was taken away, but the enemy jungle is already here, so his available plays are somewhere here, here, or trying to go here. Now, what can you do about this one? What can you do? If you, as your own jungle player or this teammate, already have cleared everything that's here, this available play is not possible. If your tank player is 100% HP and unkillable, this available play is also not available. Which means, then we look at this mid lane play, maybe this is a possible play. And therefore you can guess where the enemy is going to be and what they're going to do by simply looking at camps and what you can do with this. And I've done so on my stream, I've done so plenty enough. We've hit challenger, I think, with close to, like, what was it, 75, 70, I don't know, 74% win rate, with more than 50% MVP ratio, by just abusing jungle fundamentals. Just understanding where to be, how to be there, and how to abuse people for making these gank mistakes. Because in WildRift, this is very, very important. You do not win more of your games by simply outplaying the people. You win most of the games by punishing them for making egregious mistakes. And this is what I mean. Jungle is the only role in this entirety of WildRift that is completely broken when it comes to just getting economy rolling. You have infinite amounts of golds by simply farming and punishing people for their mistakes. Yes, you will lose games. Yes, you will feel like sometimes you can't do anything, but it's all linked, or most of the time linked, to your inability to track information on the map. Another thing that many people completely underestimate is checking whenever you see the enemy jungle appear in vision. Let's say it's the first clear of a jungle, and you see, why is the enemy jungle level 3 at 150 on a champion that can full clear and therefore be like 4.5, a little bit more depending on time, like maybe maybe 2/3. What does it mean? He was either AFK or he didn't clear camps. The next thing is spot very carefully what buff is around the enemy champion. If you spot that an enemy champion is here and for some reason at 140 he doesn't have a red buff, what does this mean? His red buff is up. What does it mean if he goes for a cheeky gank here? In full vision while his red buff is still up there because you know he hasn't done it because, well, he doesn't have the buff. That is a genuine possibility. The same thing can be applied to every other aspect of the game. And just the most important part as a jungle is getting these timers. When you're there, drop a ward, use the vision plant, get information, because information is that what makes it so much easier for you to play. And when it comes to sequencing, if you're wondering why the hell is he starting Gromp on Lilia? Okay, if you take a good look, this is the first clear. And then for the second clear, 252, 38, at 321 are blue spawns. So we have a lot of time that we can spend farming. Like we can spend farming. Which means no downtime. Whenever you see like here this difference between here, which means you have a 22 second window of like resetting, walking there and getting something done. Even after crap dies, you have a brief window of getting something done, and then you want to go farming again. You just want to make sure to spend the downtime you have as best as possible, which usually is farming. If you start blue buff, you will have a 40-second window. A 40-second window compared to like a 22-second window. And obviously, if you get invaded, it's a lot harder to invade Gromp than it is to invade blue buff. It's just easier for you to survive with a Gromp start than with a blue start. Plus, most people to this day don't don't like to start Grom for whatever reason. They talk about delaying your camps and respawns, which is not true, because yeah, you see your chickens spawn at 3-7, which aligns perfectly with you walking back to blue buff, which then allows you to gank here, and then you only have one camp which is available here. So you can't even lose much. It's not like about losing at all. And then again, you just have so much time getting things done. Or you're just way more like efficient with that one. Did I forget anything valuable? Okay, for mid lane, by the way, mid lane wards. Okay, for top lane, you have this ward, like bot lane can also place this ward. For mid lane, you have this ward here, like you can also place it here to the right, so it isn't spotted by the ward in here. And since most people pop the plant into like this direction here, it will also, or like this direction here, it will also not be spotted by this because it's here. And you have a beautiful time having extra vision because you know where the jungle is, was, and can be in the near future, which allows you to play lane to however or what goal you ever want to have. That makes it so much easier. Yeah, that's what I just wanted to get done. I hope this was like understandable in some ways. I hope this cleared up a few things. If you want me to revisit this in a different manner, just make it even easier, just let me know in the comments below. I'll try to do some like easy to make educational stuff. I think this is very easy to make, just completely people like don't realize this so many times. Maybe I'll do one with the waves. Just let me know in the comments below what topic you would prefer the most, because these are so easy to produce and don't take ages since I don't animate stuff and things. But yeah, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this, leave a like, don't forget about the comment, and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.